Hello everyone and welcome to Backseat VR Developer here on UploadVR. This is the show where we are playing amazing virtual reality games alongside of the developers that have created them. Thank you for joining us. My name is Alex VR and I am one half of the Between Realities team. The other half right here, it's Skeeva. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up? I am stoked to get into this cool game today.
I am stoked as well.
Nice.
Joining us for this episode is Justin Rosete from Tab Games, the developer of Samurai Salughter House. What's up, Justin?
Hey, not much. Thanks for having me on. Excited to be here.
We are excited to have you, my good sir. Tell us a little bit about this environment that I found myself in.
So it's a mythical environment. You're kind of like in an afterlife. You're at like a giant mountain castle that you're going to be fighting your way through based on, the feudal era in Japan and anime, all that good stuff. As you're going through it, you're going to be like, oh, I remember this scene, something like this in an anime. It's kind of very reminiscent of that.
I love it. And one thing I just want to point out real quick before we go any further, if you go into this area, boom, look at this thing that pops up. Like most of the time you just like hit a wall, right? And you can't go through it. But I just want to tell you I appreciate this. You feel invisible bony hands grabbing onto you and bounding your soul to the mountain. It's like, thank you, It's kind of like a nice little immersive way to prevent me from going through here.
That's cool.
Thanks.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Most of the artwork from the game, I either did it by hand or it is actual real historical artwork from like the 14th and 15th century.
Wow.
Since that stuff's so old, it's all public domain, so anyone can kind of go on there and derive art from it. So I'll go in there and just kind of cut pieces out and paste them together and, to make stuff like that, which is, it's fun. It saves time, but it's also adds some authenticity to the game, I think.
Right, definitely. Well, why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown here, right? Like, what am I about to get myself into with Samurai Salughter House?
So it's kind of a Metroidvania style game. So you're going to be trying to make your way up to the top of this mountain.
Welcome to King's Mountain.
What?
And your goal. Oh yeah, little
Look
surprise
at
for you guys
that,
there.
yes. Yo!
Yes, look at that. That
Look
is
at that.
beautiful.
Tab Games welcomes Between Realities to the Slaughterhouse. Dude, this is so awesome.
Sweet.
Oh, I'm glad you guys like that.
And dude, he also photoshopped, multiple levels of Photoshop here, right? Like this original image, we're much further apart. He puts us together. He makes me as tall as Skeeva, which I really appreciate. And then adds the Between Realities logo right there. The upload, man, A+. This game gets the gold stamp of approval from Between Realities.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. I've never seen Alex looking that tall before.
I was like, they're not really like that same in the height, but it looks right.
Nice, I love it. I love it.
It does. All right, well, let's just stand here for the next 30 minutes, everyone. What do you say? We just absorb this and we just love this. No? Okay, fine. Oh, here's another cool thing too. I noticed. I went to go pull out a sword there, but it's actually this is how you access your menu. Where did you get this idea? What's going on with this guy?
So he's kind of like the devil on your shoulder, your little assistant buddy, and
Whatever you say.
I don't know, it was funny because the way I came up with him, I was just trying to think of different ways to do like immersive menus. So I was thinking about scrolls is kind of the obvious one that's been done. And then I was a lot of it kind of comes down to saving time. I already had my dialogue system that was all set up and working. I was like, hey, let's just use the dialogue system to save some time. And I was like, well, who are you gonna talk to? I'm like, why not a little like spirit on your shoulder, a little
He's cute.
what's the guy's name in Mulan, Mushu or
And he's actually there. Like I can't see him, but I see his shadow. He's like always there.
That's cool. He looks like a boglin from back in the day. I don't know if you remember those things, but that's I like the design. I love the design here. This whole game has such a unique art style to it. Maybe you can tell us kind of how you kind of came about the type of art that you used in here.
Yeah, so it started out I was really just kind of like playing around like with different art styles, trying to figure out what I want to do. And I got like this kind of comic book looking art style. It was originally going to be in black and white. And it was originally going to be a lot shorter game. It was going to basically be like Time Crisis with swords. But as I started to like expand into it, I decided we need color to communicate certain things. But I still like the high contrast of the black and white. So that's why I decided to go with kind of a muted color scheme. So it still has like that comic book feel, but you can also get a little bit of color in there. And a lot of people think this is just like a filter or like a material or something, but these textures are all done by hand. Even when I buy models, I have to go in there by hand and stress all the outlines so that you get these nice, sharp, dark outlines with the nice, different like color faded in there, so that you're able to, get some nice detail and some nice contrast. And we got cool. The Saints and Sinners style backpack.
Nice.
Was that just like a direct, like you played Saints and Sinners and you're like, yep, I'm going to do that?
Yeah, no point in, reinventing the wheel. Like,
right. I
think with flat games, there's already kind of like a standard, like how to do everything. But I feel like with VR, there's not as much of a standard. But I think when you see games like Saints and Sinners that do something really well, that's how things are going to become the standard. And I think their backpack is just like a great system.
It is. Did you have you been a developer for a long time? Like, first of all, you're a solo dev on this project, right?
Yeah, I'm a solo dev. I brought on like a contractor to help me get some of the quest settings set up, like Vulkan and all that kind of weird graphics API. I don't really know as much about that. But yeah, other than that, I did all the programming, the artwork, I produced the music, pretty much just me on it.
Were you a developer before virtual reality, or is VR kind of how you got started down your development path?
VR is definitely how I got it started taking it seriously. I've been developing since I was about 10, like click and play RPG Maker, whatever I can get my hands on.
Nice.
But it wasn't until I picked up a Quest that first of all, there was a lot of games missing. I was like, dude, there's no game like this. There's no game like this. So I was like, there's really an opportunity. And like, I was just like the most excited about it. So I was like, let's go ahead and like do this, take this seriously. So that's when I started just kind of prototyping a bunch of different stuff. Originally started making it was going to be a shooter game. I just had like these randomly generated mazes and you had guns in it. And then I started adding swords, and the swords are really fun to fight the AI with, but they just didn't mesh well with the shooting. So I was like, let me just roll with this sword thing more. And, when I was playing a lot with styles, and I came up with a comic book style. So I was like, you got comic books.
Wait, can I unsheath this?
Yeah, you got to grab it with your left hand, the sheath, and then pull the sword out with your right hand.
Ooh, that feels good. Oh, that's kind of cool. I think that's the first time I've ever unsheathed a weapon in VR.
Yeah, that was definitely not easy to do. There's probably a reason why you don't see that often.
Right.
Especially with a katana. What I didn't realize when I decided I wanted to do that is that a katana is not like a regular sword. It's not straight. It's actually curved. So that actually has to go on a curve when it comes out, which is this whole like physics mess. Like,
and it's ridiculous. I need the sheath for it to go back on my hip, right?
Yeah, the other weapons you can store, but the swords you do need the sheath. But everyone drops sheaths like all the time.
It like gives you that moment where you're like, you draw your sword, That's good.
Yeah, I mean that's such an iconic thing too in like samurai films and games and stuff, and it's like so that was just something you just couldn't go without.
Wow, the way that body just sliced in half was so cool.
Thanks.
So there's really a huge emphasis on the blood in this, like it's just everywhere. It sprays all over the place. It's wow. It is, and because of the muted color scheme, the blood really stands out.
So this game's in active development right now, right?
Yes, correct. It's in active development. You can get in early access as of right now on itch.io and also like SideQuest. And the development is very active. I post a new build like every Friday. A lot of people are like, Friday's my favorite day. It's like when a new episode of a show comes out for them.
Right.
So yeah, it's very active development. I take input. I take suggestions from the players and stuff.
Well, I'm glad I can wear the hat because people are going to try to put it on, and it works.
Yeah, that was an important one to me. Put the hat on.
Next one is dismemberment of corpses, right?
Yeah, because Yeah, I gotta add that you can chop them over.
Oh man, I got my sword stuck in the wood for a second there. Ooh, what's up, girl? Who's this?
So by the time this game comes out, this episode will be probably, it'll either be right before or right around when the early access build of this hits Steam. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I am getting ready to do an early access build for Steam. Just got it all approved, so I'm aiming that for beginning of August. End of July is my birthday, so I was like, I don't want to work on my birthday. So
Nice.
beginning of August, we're gonna do early access launch on Steam.
Sweet. So what?
Excited about getting some more eyes on it.
Nice. What platforms will this game be available on?
So it'll be early access is gonna be on Steam soon. And I'm also hoping to get it into App Lab, but having some troubles getting the build size small enough. I'm already in talks with Oculus about putting it on the official Quest store. That, of course, has a lot more of a process than just throwing up on App Lab or Steam. So that will likely be in March or April of next year. And then besides that, you can already get it, like I said, through side quests, so you can play it on your Quest. And if I get on App Lab, you'll get it through there. And I also have a publishing deal to bring it to the PSVR 2. Ooh. So that's hopefully in the works.
Nice.
Still trying to get like the dev kit, but
nice.
Yeah, that'll be exciting too.
PSVR 2 is an exciting headset, and it'll be great to see this game on there.
Yeah, really excited about that. I think it'll get the VR into a lot of new people's hands too. People that haven't tried VR.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. Dang. Wow.
Oh, that's pretty good. Are there going to be some? Are there going to be some pretty? Are there going to be some big differences between the Quest version and the PC VR version?
No, they're actually almost exactly the same. The PC VR version does have some better like lighting and shadows. This is one of the rooms that has a lot better like lighting and shadows, but the Quest looks basically exactly the same as this, just there's not these shadows cast by the environment. But gameplay wise, exactly the same. Still has all the crazy ragdoll physics, the chopping in half, and all that.
I kind of like how the sword gets stuck in stuff. It's like if I like stick it into the wall, it stays there. Is that intentional? It must be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can stab it in. You can actually pin enemies to the wall too.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah, normally you gotta sneak up on that one.
Yeah.
If you see someone standing face to the wall, you just gotta kind of go and just angle it up into the back of their head. You'll get them like pinned right to the wall. It's great.
We're gonna pin somebody to the wall by the end of this. Now, if I move slowly, does that make a difference? Do they react by proximity?
Nah, not right now. I'm going to add. It's funny because I programmed. Oh, he's stuck in the stairwell. I did program for them to react to sounds, but I haven't programmed the little sound.
I put the hat on.
So right now it's just vision. They have to see.
It went flying off of his head and onto mine.
Oh, nice. That was a perfect like decapitation.
Oh man, put a blade on that like
was
Kung
cool.
Lao. Let's go.
Oh man, I should have made a special build with some. Oh, there's a chest back there you missed.
No.
Oh, that's all right. It'll
No.
just spawn randomly like in rooms, so when you go back, it may not be there. But in addition to just like regular weapons, I also have some like ability items. There's like masks. One of my favorite ones I added in recently. It's like a red, bright, shiny red mask, and you put it on, and then when you put it on, everything moves at the same speed that you move, just like.
Oh, nice.
Whoa, neat. That's cool.
It's still my favorite like mechanic.
Big dragon homie whipping through here. Man, that's pretty awesome. It's hilarious. Look at that. I love how it's just whatever direction the blade comes in. You can like cut people's faces off.
Oh, it's so much fun. Like sometimes you'll just cut off like little tiny parts. It's hilarious.
Now,
So-
is one-handed okay, or does it make a difference to get both
If
on?
you hold it two-handed, it does do double damage.
Good to know. So if you go to play this, if someone goes to play this on the PC, what are the what kind of PC would they need to make this look really good? Is it pretty low on the spec list or what?
Yeah, it's pretty well optimized. I've heard people playing it on like a 1060. So I think if your computer could play anything in VR, it'll be able to play this game. Just the fact that it can run on the Quest tells you, it'll probably work on almost any computer.
Right.
I don't really have graphical settings in it right now, but I do want to add just the option if you want to put it in like the Quest graphical mode in case you have a really, old computer. But for the most part, no one's complained. Everyone says it runs really smooth, so pretty happy with it.
Get back in there. Nice. I kind of love sheathing it. It's a simple aspect, but I like it.
Yeah, I think a lot of like VR important things is just having good like interactions, having stuff feel good, be satisfying. There's like a little gachapon machine in the game too, where you can get yokai, like little monsters that'll help you fight.
Nice.
And when you go, I have a little trigger thing where you grab it, and you turn, it goes ching, and then like spins back, and like boop, and a little like ball pops out. And you throw like a Pokeball, and like the monster pops out and helps you.
So how long have you been doing development in VR? Like what we're looking at now is after like how many years of learning and trying things?
So, I started in 2019, so not too much. Like I said, I started developing as like a hobby when I was like 10. So even though I didn't really know Unity, sorry, I forgot to change the player's color blood. Even though I didn't know Unity just from using like RPG Maker and like I actually started making like a game using like the Doom engine, like the old ass one from like the 90s, which turned out to be like a bigger pain than I thought. But just from doing all that, I got kind of used to using like programming logic and language. So when I did switch over to Unity, it wasn't too bad of like a learning process. Pretty much I spent I think maybe 6-7 months just like learning Unity. And then I picked up like a VR development class. And just like the transition from regular development to VR is not that hard. At least to start out with. It's more of the little things like, how should I do the UI and stuff like that, like more details that it kind of makes a difference. But in general, it's not a big difference developing for VR or flat games.
This is a Unity game?
Yeah, it's made with Unity.
And what would you say has been like, I don't know, your greatest challenge as a solo developer?
Probably just like the scope of this game. What you don't think of when you're first developing, you're like, I can do this and I can do this, and like you can do all of those things, but all those things kind of add up to just being like so much. And with this game, it is like kind of a Metroidvania with some RPG features and some stories. So there's, creating characters, creating levels. It's just a lot of stuff for one person. There's a whole team. Usually when I send messages to my voice actors, I'll be like, I have a character, I'm getting ready to put in the game. And, from that time that I send that first message to the time I actually put the character in the game, it'll be like 4 or 5 months that I do have like so much other stuff to do in between. So I think that's just the hardest part of being a solo developer. There's just so many different hats you have to wear.
So what's the campaign length on this game? What would people normally expect to spend in here to reach the end?
It's hard to say. Even just as it is right now, it would probably take a good 3 or 4 hours maybe to explore. And it depends how much you die too, because it gets harder later on in the game. But it is going to be pretty long, like probably an over like 10-hour campaign.
Oh, nice.
Even with not doing all the side quests and all the weird little things. I want to just kind of fill it in with a lot of side quests. Because your goal is to reach like the top of this mountain, and there'll be certain things that you have to do to like, unlock certain areas. But just like I want to have little like side quests you could do to get better weapons, unlock new like allies that'll help you fight, different things like that. Just a good fun place to explore and hang out and fighting.
Yeah, it's really got these like heavy like comic book vibes for me. It feels like I'm alive in a comic book or something.
Love that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. I want people to feel like they're in like a comic or an anime, something like that.
Yeah, it's I think it's like the thick black lines, you know, like this like. Oh, is he attacking it? Nice.
Yeah, so the humans and the monsters, they're on different like factions. So even though they're both your enemy, they're also each other's enemies. And these little monsters, you can actually get friendly ones. Those are the ones you can get from the machine, or you can also find their little Pokeball things with them inside like treasure chests. And then you can also find there's like AI allies. Like there's like a little cat guy that randomly spawns, and you'll run into him. And if you kill all the enemies that he's fighting, then you can talk to him and ask him to join you, and he'll follow you around until he dies.
That's cute. Give me some little friends, some plant friends.
And what's funny is the inspiration for that was actually Halo, because one of my favorite things about playing like the old Halo games is when you have like the Marines following you, and you can give them different weapons or set them up on turrets, and it just kind of creates like a crazy like chaotic like melee that you're in. Which is what I wanted to like try to capture here.
Ooh. These ninjas are hilarious. Their movement is so good.
I know that crazy spinning attack, it's so just like ridiculous that I was just like, I have to add it. Like it's so stupid, but in like a good way. Like
I love how they're like out here battling these monsters too. They look like grass type Pokemon to me.
Yeah, these are the plant yokais, or their definition. But yeah, I have like some water ones I made too, but I haven't put the water area in the game yet.
So what's your favorite headset to play this on? Is it the Quest, or do you have any PC VR headsets that you prefer?
Yeah, so I usually play on the Quest 2 just because of the wireless. This game, it does have a lot of swinging around, moving and stuff, so I like playing with the Quest 2 or virtual desktop. But it plays really well on most headsets. I mean, definitely with the Index, it looks nice. I can say that. It looks beautiful on the Index. But
That's definitely my preferred headset, but I do love the Quest 2 as well. And that's what we're using here today. We're using the Quest 2 via virtual desktop and running through PC VR. So
it is nice to be wireless. Look at that.
It's funny because that texture, when you cut it, when you cut the enemies in half, I kind of made it, but and normally you don't see the whole thing, but in that like one shot, you kind of got to see the whole texture. It actually looks like a pig's face for some reason.
It looks like what?
Normally you just see a little piece of the texture, but just in that enemy you cut before that, for some reason the whole texture came up and it's like a little pig face.
Nice. Yeah, I'd love to see just like organs falling out, blood pooling, filling, all this stuff. I don't know why. Why is it that we like this kind of thing? I don't get it. It like fills me with joy when I see these things get split in half.
I think it's just feedback. In fact, when you do something happens. That's like the best part of the game. I mean, with the video game, I think that's the most important thing, is that when the player does something exciting happens afterwards. Like, it could just be pushing a button, but if something exciting happens when you push that button, like, then it's fun.
Did you have anything that inspired you for this artwork? Were there any types of, I know you said some comics, right? But are there particular comics or animes or shows or just types of things that inspired you to make this type of game with this kind of art style?
Yeah, definitely thematically, and you could probably tell this from a lot of the music, is Samurai Champloo is just like a huge influence on me. The game itself, just kind of the feel, I wanted to go for it. Besides like that one, kind of like the look too is inspired a lot by the paintings from this time period. If you look at like the skybox, that's, like I said, made from those old paintings. Video game wise, definitely like Bushido Blade, that old PlayStation game. That's like a big inspiration. One of the things about Bushido Blade is that they do have like critical hit spots, like you hit them in the head, you kill him in one hit. And there's certain other things you could do. Same thing with Samurai Slaughter House. If you get a stab through the heart, that's a one-hit kill. Hitting him in the head does a lot of damage. Arms and legs barely does anything. So that was really like a big inspiration, just like the precision of it.
Now, what was your decision to have this guy just do all this?
That was just me not setting up his ragdoll correctly, so I got to go back and figure it out. It's something to do with his joints. I don't know.
There is something.
I don't know. This guy dies fine, but the other guy just does whatever he wants.
Yeah, he wanted to do something else. It is pretty entertaining. Like, obviously, as a developer, you don't want to see that. You know, like, you want to see clean death animations and all of this. But there is something to be said about just how hilarious that kind of stuff looks from a gamer's perspective. You know, like, I'm just playing through the game, and all of a sudden, somebody's, like, hanging from the ceiling with their arm twitching, you know, and, like, I don't hate those moments. Obviously, as a developer, I'm sure you cringe a little bit when you see it, right?
A little bit, but I kind of put it out there too. Like, I even say, like, you know, it's early, there's bugs, but at least the bugs are funny and not like game breaking. So.
Right. Yeah, I love it. It's like, okay, this guy wants to twitch out for a while, so be it.
Yeah, I remember playing Ark when it was in early access, and that was like my favorite thing is when the ragdolls will get all stretched, all super thin.
I'm waiting for somebody to come out with a game where that's a feature.
Where it's like intentionally like janky. Like,
yeah, the whole thing is just a jank fest.
That was kind of what they went for what was it, Goat Simulator?
Oh, I think I just died. Yeah, goats. You're right. Oh man, so I died.
Wow.
So what does that mean?
So you start over in it. There is one of the areas you go through when you pull a lever, it kind of opens up a door so you can get back to where you're at sooner. But yeah, you do start over, and then any NPCs you met, though, any like relationships you built with them, they'll remember that. So when you come back and you see the NPC next time, you know, you'll still have your quest progress. So it's kind of like Metroidvania mixed with roguelike. Kind of like every time you go through, it does have randomization, so the loot's different.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's
You're
just
groping me,
like,
Alex.
I was like, should I ask them before using their logos?
Skeeva, can
and I was
you
like,
feel
then
this?
won't be surprised. Like,
Can you feel this, Skeeva?
I do feel that. That's weird.
Whoa, man, you got those interdimensional haptics going in Samurai Slaughter House.
some voodoo.
Which, by the way, the name, it just rolls off the tongue so nicely. Like, did you, I mean, like, were you just, like, sitting around and it just came to you and you're like, Samurai Slaughter House? Yes, that's definitely the name.
Pretty much, yeah. It was like, all. I like things that have what was called assonance, where it starts with, like, multiple letters. So, you know, Samurai was what the game was about. And then what was funny is I was watching this really old sci-fi movie earlier that week, and there's this part where the aliens like, I welcomed you to this house, and I welcomed you to our planet, and you turned it into a slaughterhouse. And so just that word slaughterhouse was kind of just like stuck in my oh yeah, you somehow went through without grabbing
I didn't grab a weapon. I'm in trouble, aren't I? I want to take it out of his hand.
Well, we are almost at that 30-minute mark. Got about a
are
minute
we?
and a half, so good timing.
Well, what else is there that's just important about what you've done here with Samurai Slaughter House that we just haven't had a chance to mention yet? Is there anything that stands out that you want to make sure that we include in today's show?
I think a bit of it is that there is like a lot of RPG features, so you are able to gonna be, once you get farther into the castle, there are NPCs you can interact with, friendly ones. They give you quests. They could eventually join you. There are like shops where you can, you know, buy food to eat and different gear. So it's a lot more than just like an arena fighter. It does have like a little bit more of a layer to it. So that's one thing, you know, I think for people to be excited about is there's like a VR game coming with a little bit more depth, which you don't see too often in VR games.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And as far as like a full release for like a 1.0 build, when can we expect to see that?
So that will likely be in March or April of next year. I'm aiming to be done pretty much making the game by like December of this year. So the next 3 months will be, you know, bug fixing, QA, and all of that. So yeah, looking for a final launch March, April of next year.
Sweet. Well, Justin from Tab Games, thank you so much for taking the time to show off your game, while it's in development. We appreciate your bravery coming on and showing us an early look at the game, giving us something to be excited about. We really appreciate your time, man. It's been awesome. A lot of fun having you here with us.
Definitely. Thanks so much for having me on. It's always a good time hanging out with you guys. And I love your guys' content. You guys always make me laugh.
Nice, thanks.
Thanks, dude. And you definitely made me laugh with all of these hilarious samurais getting sliced in half. So keep up the great work. For UploadVR and Between Realities, I'm Alex VR.
And I'm Skeeva.
Yeah, baby, that's right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you soon for the next episode of Backseat VR Developer while I try not to be murdered by these samurais. See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.